You can just unequip the reflex sights? I'm sorry in advance for making the next 11 minutes of your life pointless. Alright, so take a look at me here. I'm the kind of guy you wouldn't mind leaving your purse with, right? I mean, I look trustworthy. How about now? This is my favorite game. Looks matter, and they can be deceiving. If a video game trailer looks a certain way, but plays a different way, we call that false advertising. If a girl takes a picture of herself when she looks nice, but then in real life she does not look nice, that's called catfishing. Or she found her only photogenic angle. It's still dishonest. A game's vibe and feel is nothing without its look. This is a visual medium. You don't see a lot of blind people playing Call of Duty. Unless they're on my team. Well, if you want to play a Wild West RPG like Red Dead Online, the way it looks and sounds and feels is going to immerse you, or do the counter opposite. You're gonna care about what you look like, what your horse looks like, what it feels like to go through the world is going to be primarily a visual experience. I don't like it when people brush away what something looks like or feels like as if it has no value. This is a visual medium. It's going to have a lot of value. Here's a fun little example I got made fun of for. I don't mind Breath of the Wild. I've been playing it in my off time and it's fun. It's finally getting off my backlog and I'm enjoying playing it. But I do not like it when my Link looks like a randomized character or somebody you'd see running around in an MMO. I want him to look like the Link I grew up playing. So I bought this amiibo. It was a little overpriced, but it allows me to look like this. And this is so much better than this. I will still change outfits depending on the situation if I need to, but when I'm just roaming around, this fills me with a nostalgic glee. This game is so far removed from the Legend of Zelda games I grew up playing that the visuals of Link were an extra juxtaposition to my memories of the series. So I wanted to look like Link. I wanted to look nostalgic and iconic and not like somebody who would be roaming around in a hub world on World of Warcraft. I'm not crapping on the Breath of the Wild box art Link or anything, I'm just saying, this really helps my feel when I play the game. So don't tell me visuals and aesthetics and cosmetics don't matter. And when you buy a game, I've said this 100 times, you buy into its world. Let me take video games a little too seriously for a second. When you buy a video game, you're buying a world developed by people that are trying to take a slice of reality and give it to you on your screen. Maybe that's a bunch of nothing words, but essentially, you're buying into a world. You are buying into a reality, whether it's historical or fictional, doesn't matter. You're buying into that vibe, into that aesthetic, into that style, into that world. I've explained this in multiple videos and nobody ever gets what I'm talking about. Hopefully some of you do. You wouldn't want to buy a Lord of the Rings game that doesn't give you Lord of the Rings vibes, or a Star Wars game that doesn't do the same. Like, you would want to buy into something that gives you the vibe that's being marketed towards you, right? You don't want false advertising. What I'm saying is, if you're going to make a World War II game, make the best World War II game that you can, because if people buy the game for a World War II experience, and you have a bunch of little things that are stacking up to be a massive disconnect from the player and that world they were attempting to buy into, you're not making the best game you can, and you're likely making a game that is never going to be better than just alright. There are Call of Duties people look back on and say that sucked, that was weird, and that was iconic. Guess what happens when you stack a bunch of visual things in front of a player that disconnects them from the world you were attempting to sell them on? When it comes down to the feel and vibe of Call of Duty, there is no more focal point than your gun. Now, I like some of the cursed gun customization you can do, like a thermal sight drum mag M1 Grand, or a 50 BMG bar. Weapon customization is one of the main things that will keep somebody playing a Call of Duty game. Being able to drastically change the look, feel, and playstyle of your weapon is fun, and so I don't mind them getting a little weird. I love obscure things like the vampire sight being in Call of Duty Vanguard. This optic is in Call of Duty Vanguard, and it's a real optic that is time period accurate. Did it see a lot of field use? What the hell do you think? These reflex sights are just a different notch above silly to me. Because, yeah, the vampire optic existed, and seeing sniper scopes on Sturmgewehrs was possible, but illuminated reflex sights with the ability to change the reticle color? No. I will run a drum mag M1 Grand with a vampire scope and a suppressor before I run a blue dot sight on an STG. You had optics in COD World War II that made visual sense. You had optics in COD World at War that made visual sense. What the fuck is this? This upsets my vibe. I do not need Call of Duty to be the most authentic, realistic thing in the world. Any authenticity and realism and any amount of detail will be a bonus to the Call of Duty Twitch arcade experience I'm used to. But this is just lazy on top of being unnecessary. And I just hate it when lazy people do something unnecessary. You are lazy, know your role. This decision to have reflex sights in this game screams, okay, every Call of Duty we've been releasing has reflex sights. What are we gonna do? That's not time period accurate. It's a huge visual juxtaposition that's gonna make the game look less authentic, but fuck it. I mean, previous games had it. Yeah, I like picking a red dot sight in Modern Warfare 2019 because it fit Modern Warfare 2019's style. Its time period, its aesthetic, its vibe, its world, whatever you want to fucking call it. It fit. It made sense. Having a blue chevron in my reflex sight makes sense in Modern Warfare. It makes sense in Advanced Warfare, Call of Duty Ghost, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare. It makes sense in Black Ops 4. I don't even mind it in Black Ops Cold War because we had illuminated red dot sights at that time. What the fuck are they doing mounted to the top of an MP40? The reflex sights in this game need to be welded on the gun or side mounted. They need to be a piece of glass with a physically drawn reticle. And I think people should be able to get creative with that if they want to, but that's it. The illuminated center dot is weird. It makes no sense in a World War II game. You might be able to say this is cognitive dissonance because there's other things you're not upset about that break realism or authenticity, but why this? Because it's a multiplayer game, I'm okay with weird character customization because people need to feel connected to their in-game avatars. And when it comes to gun customization, there's a thin line between wacky World War II customization and time travel. The gun is in my hands all the time. The thing that's in the focal point of everybody's vision is their gun. You are going to be looking at your gun and looking down your gun's sights all the time. It's not a little thing. It's not a mirrored gun or a firearm using the wrong caliber. It's literally a modern day reflex sight in World War II without any explanation. Hey Sledgehammer, I watched your Vanguard campaign footage. It had a shocking lack of reflex sights. What's the deal with that? You know the people that are buying this game for the campaign are buying it to be engrossed in a World War II environment, an authentic, realistic feeling environment, or at least a movie style environment. I think people get too hooked on reality and history books, where really video games at least should be mimicking Hollywood movie World War II. And Call of Duty's always been more like an action movie, so it's like your own version of Enemy at the Gates, or Pacific, or Band of Brothers, or Saving Private Ryan. Take your damn pick, I don't care. Those movies aren't 100% authentic. They're movies, not documentaries. They're meant to be entertaining. They're meant to be a dramatization, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind people in online expressing themselves the way they want to be expressed, so they feel like they're taking part in World War II. I know that if I played a shooter that forced me to play as a woman, I wouldn't be as interested. I like playing as dudes that look cool. It's the closest I'll ever be to being cool, so I like that in my fantasy escapism. I wonder how many other topics I could relate to gender for no reason. What I don't like is self-illuminated reflex sights in my Call of Duty World War II game. It's silly. Stay on theme to the best of your ability. It doesn't have to be realistic, but my subscriber, who goes by the name of Carl, by the way, I did remember you said this, it doesn't have to be realistic. It just needs to be grounded. And reflex sights that glow? No, I'm sorry, that's not grounded. I'm not trying to play a documentary, a Ken Burns film, you know? I just want the game to not have a visual eyesore, a visual juxtaposition that makes no sense. Now, you might be saying, okay, Boom, but you're okay with the other weird attachments, so what gives? Well, hypothetical person, I'm glad you asked, because, let me think about this. Yeah, it's a little hypocritical, and I do feel kinda bad making a video like this because I know what the comments are going to be. I'm okay with a drum mag where it shouldn't be. I'm okay with a metal shroud around a gun that shouldn't be there technically. I'm okay with an optic that really never saw any actual field use or very much field use, but that actually existed. Okay, I'm actually okay with that because they feel grounded in the world, and most of the attachments that you could talk about, I'm not staring at all game. If my M1 Grand has a drum mag, I don't have to use the drum mag to aim at my opponents. It's just sort of down there, and something that technically existed or is technically possible that feels grounded is gonna be a lot better in my opinion than something that's absolutely a lazy, unnecessary addition. Again, you're lazy. Why are you doing unnecessary things, Sledgehammer? Look, if anything hurts your vibe, whether it's female black Nazis, or reflex sights, or suppressors, or drum mags, or the way the maps are laid out, or the way the lighting looks, whatever kills your vibe, whatever breaks authenticity for you, maybe it's the lack of factions. The Axis and Allied factions not existing in this game is kinda doo-doo. Anyway, it's your money, it's your time, and it's your voice. Don't let anybody dismiss you or categorize you because you don't like something. I just think these reflex sights are a touch too far in the wrong direction. Again, I'm not looking for authenticity, but I don't mind the game feeling grounded in its own little fictional World War II universe. I don't fucking know. See you when I see you guys. Goodbye. The video can't be over. I wanted him to talk about gender more.